G'day, my name is Deleted Days and welcome to another video. Today's video is just a quick time lapse of a new petrol station I decided to build in my current city world. Now there's a few things to consider when making a petrol station, like location, size and even colours can all help your build stand out. And when building something like this, you want it to stand out, otherwise drivers in your city are less likely to visit this particular petrol station. As you can see here, I've already figured out roughly where I'm going to put the actual petrol pumps, as well as some parking spots. Now, I decided to move the pumps over to the right a little bit, and put down this small platform for where the cars are to drive over, just to make it a little easier to navigate when the shop is busy. Over to the right of the build, I decided to do a little area for a car wash. Now, this is something that will draw a lot more customers to this particular petrol station over any others that might not have anything like it. When building your own petrol station, you don't need to include a car wash, but it's a good thing to add if you want a little more detail. Now with this petrol station, I decided to go with a yellow and red colour scheme. Whenever I build petrol stations, I always choose two primary colours to make them stand out, and I would highly suggest you do this as well. This allows you to distinguish between different companies in your world. I have three main petrol companies in this world. One has a blue and green colour scheme, and the other is orange and white. So even if the building is completely different, you know what business owns that petrol station. Now when building anything like this, you want to make sure it's as easy to access and navigate as possible. Otherwise, theoretically, people just won't shop here. I make sure to include two entrances at least, one on each side of the build, to allow people to simply drive in and out without having to do any U-turns or reverse around. Another thing most petrol stations do is provide a cover over the pumps. This allows people to get fuel even when it's raining, and the shade also helps from the sun. This one that I'm building is quite large actually, helping to cover the car park as well as the pumps, which means it's not very bright under the cover. You can use lights to brighten up the area, but that would be costly for the company. I decided to add a little sunroof sort of thing to let the sun shine in while still providing cover. Now we're almost finished with the bulk of the build, just a few more details to go before I fill in the road and head onto the interior. Now if you wanted to go into extra detail, you could add potholes and other details like that onto the road, but since this petrol station is well looked after, I won't be including any of those. Now onto the inside, I started off with building the drink fridge. I tried to get all the lights inside the fridge to make it sort of glow, but it didn't work sadly, so I moved on and continued with the normal lights. And I even built a small ice cream fridge next to the front door, because why not? I also decided to do some shelves for packeted foods and other general supplies just to fill up the area a bit better, because most petrol stations that you'll go to, especially sort of busy ones, will have shelves and will sell other stuff as well as petrol. Now onto the front counter. I kept to that yellow colour scheme and also built an area for the toilets just around the corner. I decided to do a small fast food bit as well, so anyone who's travelling through can grab a quick meal while fueling up, and I added some small tables for anyone wanting to have a rest while eating their meal. After a little while of messing with the tables and changing the colour of the flooring to split it up a little bit, I moved on to behind the counter. Now behind the counter wasn't going to be much detail, so I just built a small slushy machine as well as a few shelves and even a cabinet for displaying pies, pasties and sausage rolls. But with that, I completed the interior and the build was pretty much finished. I added a few cars to the outside as well as a little more detail around the petrol pumps themselves. And stuff like fire extinguishers and signs for each pump really add to the overall look for the build. But anyway, that's the end of this short time lapse and the end for the video. I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed or at least learnt something that you can use in your own builds. Again, my name's Deleted Days and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, have a good one, and see you later.